We just saw A Most Violent Year, and on this show I take my friends, we go see a movie, we review it in the car, and then we have a discussion. The review part is spoiler-free, so if you're looking for a recommendation, you can watch the first part and find out what we thought, find out who we would recommend it to, and then if you've already seen the movie or don't care about spoilers, you can stick around for the discussion and find out the rest of what we thought about it. So, A Most Violent Year is a movie about a oil baron guy in the early 80s who's trying to expand his business. Things start to go awry. Some of his competitors are doing some shady things. The government is suspecting that he's doing some shady things. And it's kind of reminiscent of the Al Pacino section of The Godfather Part 2, where it feels like a crime family trying to go legit, but in reality it's a legitimate businessman who's in a very corrupt system trying to maintain his control, maintain his legitimacy and grow his business, while at the same time everyone around him is playing by different rules and doing other things. Who would I recommend the movie to? If you are looking for a movie that lives up to the title, A Most Violent Year, you're going to be disappointed. The guy sitting next to me kept saying things like, shoot him, or, oh, he's dead now, and that never happened for him. It was not the movie he was expecting. It's very much a story of making the hard decision instead of the satisfying decision, if that makes sense. It's not about getting revenge or being cool in a gangster sort of way. It's about doing what you think is right all the time, every time.
What did he say at the end? Doing the most right thing.
Yeah. So it's a really, really good drama. Very good period movie. The performances are all fantastic. Mm-hmm. I really only recognize Jessica Chastain.
I was going to ask if you knew who anyone else was.
I think the lawyer...
He looks familiar.
If he wasn't Albert Brooks, he's the spitting image of Albert Brooks. But I'm not sure.
I didn't watch the credits that closely.
I'm not for sure if it was him or not. But it's a really good drama. I know that it had a little bit of Oscar buzz at one point.
I can see that for Jessica Chastain.
And they were going to...
whoever the lead was.
Yeah.
Abel. Yeah.
They were... It got released on New Year's Eve so that they could make it a 2014 release.
Oh.
But it didn't really...
Hit wide release.
Well, it didn't really do anything Oscar-wise. I don't think there were that much in terms of this. Anyway, it's a decent drama. I enjoyed it. If you like sort of true crime type dramas and you're not looking for an action gangster movie, it's good. What'd you think?
Yeah, I'm not even sure I would call it true crime. I think it's just, I would call it like almost true human nature. Like if you think people are interesting, and if you think it's interesting to see how people react to difficult situations, because there's crime, but it's not really like, it's not a whodunit. There's not really any crime to solve. It's fairly obvious who's.
But there's this undercurrent of, is he gonna go and become a gangster or not?
Yeah, I guess. All right. Yeah.
That's what I mean by true
But
crime.
yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I had absolutely no expectations coming into the movie. I am not sure I even knew what it was called. So I wasn't expecting a lot of violence, but I enjoyed sort of the tension between, is it Abel?
Abel, yeah.
Abel and his wife, and sort of their family structure, and his drive to provide for his family and keep them safe. There was also, I thought, some good stuff around kind of his mentoring relationships with Julian, I think, and how that played out, and how he wanted to be a mentor, and how he thought that role would be, and how it really ended up. And then just his drive and his ambition, and how he saw that playing out in the greater kind of oil industry. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
So that's the recommendation part. If that sounds like a good movie to you, go check it out. Don't let us spoil anything. This is the part where we start talking about spoilers and get into more of the plot, more of the detail of it. Yeah, I think any other movie, if, you know, and especially if it were a super fictionalized version of things, the desire to put in more action, put in more violence would be overwhelming. That you would want to have that in there to I don't know, make it bigger, make it more of a crime drama sort of thing. But it's also an interesting thing that in any other movie, like his conversation with his salespeople about how to convince people to switch to them is completely sincere. And in any other movie, it would be, here's how we screw all these people over. Here's how we cheat. And it's kind of an interesting thing that if you leave the movie thinking he's an honorable man, you know, he did the best with what he had to do or what decisions he had to make and all that. If you leave the movie thinking he's an honorable man, it makes you wonder if, you know, how many people are doing things that are terrible that are the best they can do with the situation that they have. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. That is, yeah. I'm just trying to think of, you know, like the things that people do. You
it's
try
like
to think
through
the
no
best.
fault of his own. I mean, and he really did, like the guy that, the truck driver, he really tried to help that guy.
Yeah.
And there was nothing he could do for him.
Yeah.
And
Well, and I think some of it is about sort of the illusion of power. That people, I guess, at two different layers. I think that there are people who are unable to be honest with themselves about how much power they have, and so sort of self-aggrandize and think that they can do more than they really can. And I think there are people outside of them that think they have greater power than they do, and so have set up expectations for what they can do. And I think that's where he got in trouble with his sort of mentoring relationship, is that young man really thought he could do more for him than he could.
right.
And I think he also got himself in trouble a little for thinking he could do more than he could, that the situation was bigger than he was.
Well, it's also one of those things where there were people that misinterpreted that what he was saying was honest. Like, his honesty was something that people didn't get. They didn't understand that he actually was being honest about all that stuff. And, you know, like him sitting down with all the other oil company guys and saying, just stop it. It's like, well, we're not doing anything. Well, you can say that, but someone's doing something and stop it. Yeah.
So basically, you can never change anything.
Well, I mean...
But, I think that's, I guess, depending on where you are and how much, again, with the power, how much power you really have in the situation.
Yeah, and it comes down to the line that he says to the younger banker, which is, when it feels scary, that's when you jump. Because otherwise you just stay where you are. And that's the truth. If he had not risked everything, he would, you know, just be living comfortably instead of expanding into this bigger role. But expanding into a bigger role means this one guy happened to had to die, and he also ended up in a sort of debt relationship with the district attorney, who is basically saying, you know, you're gonna back me politically from now on.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I really liked how condensed it was too. It felt like it could have been like a 2.5 hour movie, and they really just kept it moving. So yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I would watch it again. I mean, I think it would be a good sort of date night at home where you could really kind of dig into it a little bit and spend some time watching it and thinking about what was going on with all the characters.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, it's Emma's Violent Year. If you like the way we do these movies, reviews, and stuff, like the video, subscribe. Check out our Patreon page where you can get exclusive content every month about stuff that's coming out on Netflix and Amazon and all the different things that we review, and all the stuff that comes up every week. All our movie reviews, the written and video reviews, go up every week at dalemaxfield.com. Thanks for watching.